Huh? What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Overboy. I'm going to be doing my review for Scream 5. I'm going to keep this spoiler free since this movie just came out and everything, because this franchise is known for its big twists and stuff and killer reveals and stuff, so I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen it. Now, I may talk spoilers in other videos coming up later on my channel that I'm planning on doing, talking about the Scream franchise, so if you want to hear more of those thoughts, I'll talk about that in those videos. But this one, I'm going to keep it spoiler free. So this movie is directed by Matt Bentinelli Olpen and Tyler Gillett, who they're most known for directing the movie Ready or Not, which came out a couple years ago, which was a really great movie. I absolutely love that one. I might have to review it sometime. But they were announced to be the directors on this one, and I was really skeptical going in on this movie and everything. There's not really a lot that I can talk about in the plot that wouldn't run the movie, so I'm going to try not to really go too much into it. Just pretty much the little basic synopsis is that 25 years after the events of the first Scream movie, a new killer has donned the Ghostface mask and begins targeting the teenagers in Woodsboro with connections to characters from the past. And that's all I'm really going to say about it, because I don't want to run this movie. Like I said, it's a brand new movie, so I don't want to run it for anybody who hasn't seen it. Now, I know a lot of people who have wanted to see it probably already have, and if you've been online and you haven't seen it, you've probably had it spoiled for you, because spoilers are everywhere. Some jerkwad named Jack Wilson in one of the groups I'm in just decided he wanted to tell everybody what happened in the movie and who one of the killers is, and a certain important plot point in the movie and everything. So to you, I hope you step on a Lego, you jackass. Anyway, back to the review. I just wanted to give Jack Wilson a shout out for being a jerk. This is a pretty good movie. I kind of had lost anticipation on it, because I'd been hearing some people really liked it, some people didn't, and they said it was really predictable and stuff, and having the ending spoiled for me kind of just made me not as excited and stuff for it. But I wanted to see it before too much more got ruined and everything. And even though I knew especially one of the two big plot points, like I said, one of the killer reveals and the other thing, I still really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really well done, and I was really eerie about it, because last time Kevin Williamson didn't write a Scream movie was Scream 3, and to me that's easily the worst movie in the franchise. So I was like, him not coming back to write this could really hurt it and everything, because everyone always gives Wes Craven all the credit for this franchise, and his directing is great and everything. I'm not saying it's not, because he did an amazing job with the directing on the first 4 movies and everything, but he wasn't the only reason why this movie or this franchise has been so good and everything. Kevin Williamson was a huge factor in this franchise, especially seeing that 3 wasn't as good because he didn't come back for it. But he was a consultant on here and a producer on here, so he was still involved in the production of this movie, so it worked. And the writers on this one, James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick, I think is how you say their names, they are really good with this movie. They did a very good job writing it, and I really enjoyed it. It has a lot of commentary on requels, which are kind of like a combination of reboots and sequels, where they're not really a reboot, but they're also not a full-fledged sequel, they're kind of a continuation and stuff, just to try to keep people from being mad about them doing new ones. We've had a lot of them recently in recent years, and they reference a lot of them in the movies, like Star Wars and Jurassic World and Jumanji, which I don't know if they mentioned Jumanji, but that to me is a requel. But yeah, you get the point. They've done it even within the last couple of months with Ghostbusters and The Matrix. So, and of course, you have to mention Halloween because it's one of the most popular ones. But they take a lot of shots at the Star Wars stuff, and there's a lot of shots at like toxic fans and stuff, which I thought was awesome in this movie, and everything. Because I've had to deal with so many toxic fans over these last few years of stuff that I love that they just love to hate on, that they claim to be fans of and stuff. It's fun to watch this movie because of that too. Like if you've been in movie groups on Facebook, you've had to deal with these type of people, and it's just really, really well written. And I like pretty much all of the new characters. That was something that I was really glad about. I had heard a lot of people say they weren't as good and everything, and the new characters aren't going to be ones that you're going to want to follow on, but I actually did like them, and I thought they were kind of intriguing, and then enjoyed the new characters we did get in here. The new main character, Samantha, her name's Samantha Carpenter, I think is a nod to John Carpenter. She's played by Melissa Barrera, who was in the movie In the Heights, which I thought she was really good in that movie. Even though I wasn't a huge fan of that movie, I did like her in it. Yeah, I thought she was pretty good in here. And you got Mason Gooding and Jasmine Savory Brown is Chad and Mindy Meeks Martin, who they're like the niece and nephew of Randy Martin from the first three movies, which I thought was cool. And we even get to see Randy's sister in here in a small little cameo, which isn't really running anything because they announced she was coming back. I had hoped for a little more with her in it, but I think she was in it just enough. And then you get other new cast members. Amber, played by Mikey Madison, she's really good, and Jack Quaid is Richie. He's really good, and he's Dennis Quaid's son and everything. And like you can tell that he's his son. He looks a lot like him, especially like when he smiles. He has almost the exact same smile as Dennis Quaid. It's like watching a younger version of him. But I thought he was really good in here too. And there was a character named Wes Hicks who was kind of like a tribute to Wes Craven. I thought that was kind of cool too. And then you get the legacy characters back in here too. Dewey is the one that gets the most to do in this movie. He has more of an important role in this movie than Sidney and Gail, which I thought was kind of cool. I've always liked Dewey and kind of always felt he was a little underrated and everything. So I will say I thought that was kind of cool. He had a little bit more to do in here. I'm betting in the next one Gail will have a lot more, and then the last one Sidney will have a lot more. If they're going by what I'm thinking they're going to be doing with this, if they continue this as a part of a trilogy, who knows? But I did like that too. I thought that all of them were pretty good in here, although I will say that Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox were still really good in this movie, but they weren't like as good as they normally are. Like they kind of felt like they were just, they weren't as into it like they were in the other ones. Maybe it's because they had a hard time filming it without Wes Craven or something. I don't know. There was something a little bit off on them, and there was a big difference on Dewey, but I think it's just David Arquette's acting was just really good, and maybe it's because of certain reasons, which if you've seen the movie, you know why, but I can't really talk about it without spoiling it. So, but I think there's reasons why his performance was as strong in this one as it was. But And Roger L. Jackson, as the voice of Ghostface, is once again excellent. He's always really good at voicing Ghostface and everything. And I like how at the beginning of this one, they actually have him talking like a regular person before it transitions into the Ghostface voice, which was kind of cool. Kind of something a little unique for the franchise, but yeah, this is a really, really entertaining movie. I was very surprised at how much I liked it, because, like I said, I've been eerie about this movie, because just the thought of them doing another one without Kevin Williamson as the writer, and not having Wes Craven directing it and stuff, I was like, this could be either really good or really bad, and everything. I had hope so, because of how much I liked Ready or Not, and there are things about it I don't like. Some of the stuff in the last act could have been done better. Mostly it felt rushed, like the ending just felt like it rushed really quick. Once the killers are revealed and stuff, it just goes by really fast and everything. I didn't like that about it, but for the most part, I enjoyed this movie. I really like the new characters and look forward to seeing if they do continue the franchise, which it had a very good opening weekend, so we probably will be seeing more Scream movies and everything. I hope that they get to do more and stuff. And also, I've always said that I'm not a big fan of the Dewey and Gale relationship very much. I was never really sold on it throughout the franchise and stuff, because they're on and off again and stuff. But the way it's written in this one, I was like, it actually works really well. I actually really like the way they handled it in this movie and everything. So I wanted to say that too. One of the things I've complained about in this franchise, that's one of the things they kind of did do a good job on fixing and everything. And they're just, like I said, and the humor lands, it works. There were a lot of parts in here that I laughed out loud, especially this one part when Wes gets really savage with Dewey. He says something really savage to him, and then Dewey's like, "You might be the killer because you just cut real deep," or something like that. That scene cracked me up. I don't know what it was about the line delivery or what, but it just cracked me up. But all in all, I think this is a really great one, and it's going to be pretty, well, it's probably going to be in the middle of my ranking. I'm not sure, but it has potential to move up, because I really did enjoy this one a lot. It was really a lot of fun and very enjoyable. So I'd say I'd give Scream 5 an 8 out of 10 and everything. So far, it's my favorite movie of the year, which really isn't saying a lot, because I've only seen this one in the Harry Potter reunion, which is more of a special thing. It's not really much of a movie, so technically this is only actual feature movie that really counts as a movie. So but I really enjoy it quite a bit, and I think they did a very good job on it. It's good enough that I hope we get more, but if they are going to continue this franchise, I hope they either keep the guys that wrote and directed this movie going on, or they at least keep Kevin Williamson on as the consultant and to help with the ideas of how to continue it, because I want this to work. I want them to keep making it work as good as this one did if they do continue it. And also, one other little thing that I wanted to mention is there's a little scene where the girl is watching Dawson's Creek, and it's one of my favorite episodes that Kevin Williamson wrote and stuff, that kind of had like a little murder mystery feel to it. It's like a Halloween episode and everything. I just thought that was really awesome too, that they showed a little clip from it, and that episode had Scott Foley from Scream 3 that played Roman. I thought that was kind of cool too. I just thought that was a nice little Easter egg that I wanted to point out that I thought was cool. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Scream 5. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or did you think it was just okay? Let me know, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.